All right, thank you, folks. Yeah, I do apologize, guys, but I couldn't get back to my place on time. I'm in a public place at the moment. Okay, so welcome to this class on the ECB's decision. Now, normally, when we talk about the ECB decision, I always say, forget about it, wait for the press conference, don't do anything. This time around, I'm actually changing my my view. I'm changing my tone. I'm changing my typical advice. Why? Well, there are rumors that the ECB may do something, and if we talk about do something, what we mean is there are rumors that the ECB could actually cut rates. So, what does that mean for us? If there's going to be a rate cut, then to me that would suggest that we should be able to look for price action. If there's a rate cut, we should be able to look for further weakness out of our euro, which at this point is seeing around 7/10 or of the typical range for the day. So again, there are rumors that the ECB could decide to cut rates. If they do decide to cut rates, they could be cutting 50 BPS. And if they cut 50 BPS, let's just say that a 50 BPS move would be a drastic measure for the ECB and could potentially see us heading or pushing through our key support of 2679, 2680 for our rally from last year. Okay, so watch out for this. Now, let's talk technicals. If you look at your chart, you're going to see that you've had a bearish engulfing from the weeklies last week. You're oversold in your stochastic, you're dropping in your MACD. So obviously your trend is bearish. So far for the week, we've had an indecisive market. You went up Monday, you ease off Tuesday, went up Wednesday, and now we've already eased off. But again, if the rumor of a rate cut were or is to turn out to be true, then we ought to look for massive dumping of your euro. How likely is a rate cut by the ECB? Well, let's put it this way. They have to do something to prevent the next Cyprus. And we don't really have any inflation pressure, so the Germans really cannot complain that what you're doing is going to create inflation and so on and so forth. So I would say there's a chance that we could be seeing an easing, okay, just to help the periphery and to get economic numbers picking up again. Remember that despite the brave face that the ECB keeps on putting, latest economic numbers have been bad for the Eurozone. We've seen a negative revision on forecasts in Germany and for the whole of the Eurozone. So guys, normally we say don't bother with the rate decision. This time around we'll say it is important, watch out for it. Now, how are we supposed to trade this? Let me show you something. Our problem at this point is that we've already seen a huge sell-off. So, to many it's not really an ideal situation to try to jump in, try to price in a possible rate cut. We're not even sure that this is really going to happen. As I said, these are just rumors. Now, rumor or not, I'm thinking that we ought to prepare ourselves just in case it does happen. And what I'd like to do is this. Instead of putting a buy order or a sell order or a sell stop, what I'd like to do is just before the release, we want to put a straddle on the market. What's a straddle? A straddle is basically when you put a buy stop and you put a sell stop. So what would happen then is that if there's going to be a breakout, then we will be able to join either the buy side or the sell side of a breakout. Okay? Now, we have plenty of time until the rate decision, so I'm not going to put the straddle just yet. Let me just set it up though. I don't want to trade a full lot on this. So let me just minimize my risk. Maybe take just 0.3 on this one. I normally don't do a straddle on an ECB announcement because there could be volatility. Things could jump around depending on how the market views the decision. Oh, sorry, looks like I made a mistake there. Yeah, give me a sec here, guys. We actually implemented the straddle. Let me remove it. Yup. Let me just remove that straddle before it gets executed. Alright. Sorry for that. So, that's our plan. Put a straddle just before the release. Let me change our offset setting. Well, I'll change that later. I'll just use an offset of about 3 pips plus or minus of what the market rate is just before the rate decision. So, let me just check something. Pan, the decision is in about 17 minutes from now. So it's not that long. So again, guys, rumor has it that there will be a rate cut. We don't know if it's true or not. I would say that the probability of a rate cut happening is about 0.4. So that's not really a good probability. But just in case, I want to be in. And being in means I want to be short. Now, one option for you is, if you don't want to straddle the decision or you don't have a straddle EA, you can actually just wait for the decision, and if we can confirm that there's a cut, then good, we'll chase the sell side. If indeed the rate cut happens, I would expect that it could be 0.5. We've heard from many ECB officials the past few weeks that basically said that we look at the economy as well as doing okay, at least the recovery is there. But they also said that the ECB doesn't take half measures. What do we mean by the ECB doesn't take half measures? Basically, they don't want to cut rates 25 BPS and see what will happen next, or wait for 2 or 3 months to see the effect. If they are to do this, then it's going to be massive. And the only massive rate cut that I can think of is 50 BPS. After all, their interest rate is at 0.75. You can't go zero. That's going into a trap the way the Japanese found themselves in a liquidity trap. Okay, so we're about 15 minutes away from that decision. We intend to be in our EUR/USD for that decision. Now, things to avoid. We've had a big rally in our EUR/JPY. Throughout the week in the live trading room at FX Instructor, we've been talking about how we ought to look for a big move from the yen pairs. And we've indeed had a big move in Euro-Yen today. We have a 355 pip rally. So what do I want? What do I intend to do with our Euro-Yen? I want to do nothing of any sort with our Euro-Yen. If indeed a rate cut will happen, then there's going to be pressure to pull your Euro-Yen down. But, and I say this again, but policy in Japan is now clearly to try to revive the economy, try to force people to start investing, start spending. And to do that, you have to print money. The BOJ already said that they will be buying GGBs on a massive scale. They're buying long term. So I don't want to find myself caught in a situation where the ECB is cutting rates effectively. That's almost like printing money, and then have on the other side of your currency pair a country which is printing money. Because if you do that, either you have an active market or you end up with a big boring, no action market. And I don't want to be in a very jumpy, very whippy market, or I also don't want to be in a flat market. I want something predictable. And trading a currency with the same policies on both sides will result to either of those conditions: very volatile or very quiet. I don't want very quiet. I don't want a whippy market. Dollar yen. Well, let's take a look at the chart. You've already had a big rally in dollar yen. My immediate objective is your 96.78 area. And you know what? I'm thinking we ought to think about getting a rally all the way up to 100. I know data from the US is disappointed, but the US is still in a lot better position than Japan, than Europe, than UK. Heck, right now US manufacturing is even doing better than Chinese manufacturing. So, to my view, our dollar yen is a one-way street. Anytime this pulls back. Well, that's the problem, Pan. It doesn't really retrace that much. But you can try looking for the break of your major resistance at 96.78. Ahmed, I would limit my expectation for end of Q2 at about 103, 100 to 103. I've heard some comments talking 110, 115, but I think that's just too much. Remember, the BOJ isn't really about weakening the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen weakens as a side impact or as collateral damage of the domestic policies of Japan. They're not after weakening the currency itself. So I'll limit myself to just above 100 for the end of the quarter, the end of Q2. So about 103, 105 would be the most that I would go for. I've heard 110, but again, it's not government policy to weaken the currency. The currency is weak as a side effect of government policy and not the other way around. There's no targeting. I would say it would be best to wait for it. I'm not really in on a big scale. I am partially in from earlier. We've been planning on buying this dollar yen at the FX Instructor Trading Room since Monday. We were hoping that we could get we could get a good price by Wednesday, but I actually joined in only when we started rallying. I've already taken partials, and there's not much room for me left because I had my trade manager on and I forgot to adjust my levels, and I had my trade manager set to book profits at 30 and 70. So I'm left with only a smaller volume now. So yeah, I would say it's best to wait. I would look for a pullback towards at least 94.55. Hopefully 94.20 is still a possibility as an entry. Okay? So guys, we are about 8 minutes away from the decision. Well, okay, let's take a look at the chart. Okay, you've triggered a double top in your GU. I tend to think long run GU is likely to weaken some more. But let's remember, it's no longer government policy to weaken cable. When we were around 1.6, government officials were saying cable is too expensive. But when we got to 1.5, 1.49, we had government officials saying, you know what, we're not intentionally weakening the currency. So because of this, I tend to think long run we ought to just look for sideways action. For now, if you're talking intraday, I'd like to see a close above your 50-70 region first, 50-79. Once I have an hourly close above that, I would say false breakout. Just go technicals, just play the range game. So the BOE staying the same really isn't much of a surprise. And going forward, chances of further rate cuts or an increase in the asset purchase facility is becoming nil. There's been a change in the tone out of the BOE. And remember that Mervyn King will also be leaving the BOE this September. Okay, we have Mark Carney taking over. So because of this, we tend to think that from a policy perspective, there won't be any incentive to rock the boat. Not when Mervyn King is on his way out. Unless something drastic happens to the economy, it's unlikely that policy will change. And because of that, I will just stick to technicals when dealing with cable. Excuse me. Alright guys, let me just switch to our Euro charts. We're nearing the time when we want to be prepared. Let's go Euro Pound. Again, we don't want to touch our Euro Yen because we've got potentially the same policies from the Eurozone. Of course, if there's no rate cut, which is really what the consensus forecast is, then and if there's no rate cut, again the consensus forecast is there's no rate cut. I just heard that there's a rumor of a rate cut happening. That's why I'm speculating that we could see a rate cut. So if there's no rate cut, that's the central scenario. What you want to do then is to just wait for the press conference. No rate cut, wait for the press conference, and if in the press conference they still sound hawkish, they still sound optimistic about the economy, you might want to actually look for a reversal of the losses in your EUR/USD at that point. But for the release itself, for the event itself, I'm planning on just doing a straddle. Excuse me. So let me just prepare. We're only 3 minutes away from that decision. So we'll do a straddle trader. By the way, if you're curious about the EA, I'll be releasing it publicly in my blog. Give me a couple of weeks more. I'm so busy right now that I haven't been able to update. Excuse me. Okay, so 3 minutes away, folks. Again, we want to be either in euro. JP, yeah, well, for the premium webinar, it's a little bit different because we just do technicals. But you know what? We can look into getting more. I'll try to talk to them. It's just a question of me having time, really. And right now, I'm juggling a lot of stuff. But I will try to do so in the future. Okay, so 2 minutes away, guys. In fact, let me shift to 30-minute candles. That way I can see, okay, we are a minute away and a minute and 14 seconds away from this release. So let me just set up the EA. So less than 60 seconds. Again, I only want to trade 0.3 on this one. Rate cuts could mean a lot of movement, so I'm adjusting my target to at least 70 pips, 700 points in my EA. Stop loss will be 15 pips. I'll use 3 as my offset. So whatever market price is when I put the EA, it will be plus or minus 3 pips. I will have a buy stop and a sell stop placed plus or minus 3 pips. And we are about 15 seconds away. So I'll just put in the order about 5 seconds from the release. There we go. Oh man, I forgot to adjust this.
650 times 0.8.
Okay, guys,
Kasi 80%.
I just had a boo-boo here. Let me see what happened.
Magkano nga?
So we are in. We're long in euro. We got in at 11. I'm really sorry, I can't really tell you what the decision is, but based on price action, I would say no rate cut happened here, since we don't have a sell-off. So now this becomes a question of what will be said at the press conference. So my short got triggered, but there was no rate cut. So what are we going to do at this point? Thank you, Stuart. Okay. Okay, I'm making a couple of bucks. But the premise, okay, here's when you're trading and you're trading news. If the premise for your decision to do something is not there, then the ideal thing to do is to just get out. Okay? The premise for our decision isn't there. So I'll just close out that trade and I'll see what will happen once the press conference starts. A lot of traders, when they're in the market, they get frozen. Even though you plan to take this because of this, this is my plan, this is where I want to go. If the premise, again guys, if the premise of your decision is no longer available, if the premise of your decision was wrong, but the trade was opened, the best thing that you can do is to close the trade out. Try to break even, try to get some profit if you can get a few pips, but don't stay in the market hoping that things will eventually get better. So what's critical now is the press conference. We want to hear from Mario Draghi on how many people voted for unchanged. We want to see if there were actually people asking for a rate cut. If there were people, and again, this could turn out in the press conference. If there were people who asked for a rate cut, how many were there? What was the chance of a rate cut actually happening? This is going to be important, because if you see that in the press conference or during the meeting, some people were pressing for a rate cut, then that will tell you your euro remains vulnerable. JP, yeah, I took only 0.3. I didn't want to take a big trade when I'm mobile. Normally, I would allow myself 1 to 2 lots, but that's if I'm in my home office, I'm comfortable in my home office, so I can monitor, I have all the stuff that I need. But when I don't have all the stuff that I need for monitoring, I tend to be very cautious about what I do. I probably would not have done this if I weren't doing the class. But since I was doing the class, and I thought that there was a good chance, an 0.4 chance of a cut happening, it was worth the risk. Okay, so comments, questions, complaints. Yeah, Ahmed, if he says something about Cyprus being a template, dump the euro at that point. Because remember, the Cyprus template means that you can have authorities now dip into the bank accounts of people. And if you have that as a template, if he really says that, then that tells you that if you're from Europe, if you're from, say, Spain, or you're from from Italy, then there's a risk that the CB can dip into your account. Thanks, Stuart. And if government can dip into your account, what does that tell you? That tells you that maybe if you're from Europe, you ought to move your money back to Switzerland, put your money in the UK. So if there's actually talk about Cyprus being a template, go for the Swiss franc, go for the British pound, go for the dollar, and well, euro yen, we still don't want to touch it. Put it in Dubai. Yeah, but if you put it in Dubai, which currency would you actually buy? Okay, that's an exotic trade. Yeah, but if you buy dirhams, that's an exotic trade, and I don't know what the spread is, and that's not really available for everyone. But I guess the point is, it will weaken your euro seriously. Alright guys, comments, questions, complaints. Looks like we're not really seeing a lot of movement. Your euro pounds actually losing ground because I would think that in the future you're going to have a euro that's going to be two-tiered. You have Central Euro, which is going to be strong, and you have Periphery Euro, which is going to be weak. And look at that, guys. EUR GBP is trying to sell off. I think some people are pricing in the idea that Cyprus can be a template. And just how big of a sell-off can you expect? I'd say if the Cyprus template issue will come up, there's a good chance of pushing through your swing low at 84.10. Average range in euro pounds only 61 pips. It could go 100. Remember, per pip, your value per pip in euro pound is about $15. So that's a lot of money. If we get to hear that Cyprus is a template statement, I would expect cable to benefit out of it, but I would rather go euro pound than GU itself. GBP USD could be a slow rally if Cyprus, if the Cyprus issue does come out. So I won't aggressively buy your GU at that point. It's gonna be a slow rally compared to a euro pound sell-off. Okay, guys. Comments, questions, complaints, issues. Stops on euro pound. Okay, let's take a look at our euro pound chart. Gone, I actually do that. I normally do correlation analysis when I trade myself. I don't want to just short something because my indicators are telling me. In fact, one of the EAs that I'm working on is correlation based. Okay. I'd say a stop loss of about 85.10 for Euro Pound. Remember, that could be a very active time, your press conference. So I'd want to have as wide a stop as possible. I don't want to go in, get stopped out, and then have the market go back in my favor. Cable itself, I won't sell it immediately now, but once we get cable back around your 50-200 areas, I would wait for a rejection from there. I don't really see any reason why your cable will rally to 5,500. Simple. Why do you think that brokers do not take trades, or suddenly your MT4 stops working when there's big data? They don't take positions. They don't allow you to take a trade. If you're actually dealing with the bank directly, if you're just a corporate client who will use the phone line, you'll probably get a busy number. If you're trading with them through their own brokerage facilities, their prime facilities, liquidity will be bad. They will stop quoting. That's how they manage the risk in if you have data, if you have events. But guys, sometimes banks will just take a trade and trade and trade because they know that at some point in time they'll be able to reverse it. They'll be able to sell it. You know, if I'm a bank and I've got a lot of corporate clients, it's okay for me if I lose out a pip in my transaction with you. Anyway, I've got another big client, a company that's gonna buy euros, and I can just quote him a wider spread. I'll make that money which I may have lost by quoting you a streaming quote from that corporate client. So it depends on the kind of bank and the kind of model that their chief dealer really wants to implement. Of course, they could be hedging their trades. Okay, so any comments, any questions, guys, on any other topics? I'm sorry for not being in my home office for this class, but I really couldn't control the situation. Couldn't get back on time. There's more pips in euro, but there's roughly equal dollars when you talk about the two. Euro is just $10 per pip, and Euro pounds $15 per pip at current levels, and that changes. So 100 pip movement in euro is actually less compared to a 70 pip movement. 12.5. Nope, it should be 100 only. $10. Let me check with my indicator. Okay, it's $10. Maybe your base currency is not US dollars. Or the size of your trade is different. But according to this custom indicator that I made, per tick, which is 0.01 pip, is $1. So, Don, yeah, that would be the better answer there. It probably is, although I would find it strange to have a leverage to it where the result is only 11.5. That's like a leverage of 115 leverage. That's a strange ratio. But it could also be dependent on what is your base currency.
Ano.
Maybe your account is in Australian dollars or in British pounds. If that's the case, yeah, if they're from the US, then I would say it's going to be about $5. Alright guys, we've run out of time. Sorry for this. Thank you for attending, and I'll try to see if we can get more public classes. Thank you for joining, guys.
Dalawa lang naiwan doon.